All right, so we are on in about 5. You got a minute.
Okay.
How you feeling? Good?
Good. Excited to be hosting the Emmys.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Listen, I'm sorry we didn't have a driver for you, just COVID restrictions. And we would usually have a spread set up. Same thing, pandemic, everything's been, just getting a host was actually tough. Yeah, well,
Really?
nobody wanted to do it because it's going to be virtual.
It's virtual? Tonight?
Yeah, it is. Did no one tell you that?
Nobody told me that.
I should have told you that. Well, you got, 5-ish. You'll be good. You'll be good. Brainstorm a little bit. We're ready, okay?
Oh. Tom Skilling?
Pat, you look like hell, my friend. You're in a bomb cyclone.
A bomb cyclone?
Oh, yeah. It's the newest thing. We scare the hell out of it. It's a big storm with wind and rain, and you're in one.
I know, I'm here to host the Emmys. No one's around. It's virtual.
Don't worry, Joke Boy. I've got just what you need.
Whoa, Tom. How did you do that?
Hey, they don't call me T-Skills for nothing.
They call you T-Skills?
Look, we're short of time, but this is all you need. Look, my magical green screen does everything. We're at Mount Rushmore right now.
Whoa.
Well, look, we're still at Mount Rushmore, but the Muppets faces I've chosen are the faces for my Muppets Mount Rushmore.
Good choices. Inclusive.
All right, let's get serious, though. Look, here's the Chicago Midwest Emmys.
Beautiful. That's why we're here.
Pat, I got to remind you, this is a special program. Think of the people that have hosted this in the past. Bob Newhart, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Curtis, Lester Holt, Phil Donahue, the list goes on and on. And this year, I guess because of COVID, we got you. Now, this is the Midwest. This is the area we're honoring tonight. Let's get some numbers up there.
Wow. Are those temps?
No, those are views. But Pat, that's not what's important. The Emmys don't exist in some stuffy hotel ballroom. They exist right here, and right here, and right here, and here, and
Okay, all right, I get it. Wow, Tom, thank you. That's deep.
Yeah, I think, Pat, the gummies are kicking in.
You work on gummies?
Hey, I'm Tom frickin' Skilling.
Welcome to the 63rd Annual Chicago Midwest Emmy Awards. Introducing tonight's host, Chicago native and comedian Pat McGann.
All right, we're here. The Chicago Midwest Emmys 2021. Why aren't we doing this live? Did you guys forget that we had to do this year? Here we're virtual again? I feel like we could have done this in person. Maybe you guys just didn't, I don't know. But I feel good. I have the Skilling green screen. Who can go wrong with this, right? It's a big day. Big day. That's kind of an embellishment, right? I tend to say that a lot. I have kids, little kids, and that's how I get them to go to bed every night. I say, big day tomorrow. Big day. You got a big day. You got to wake up, cry about broccoli, and keep us from having sex. You got a big day. Now, this is a big night, though. It's the Emmys, and you guys are at home, probably fast-forwarding through this. But if you are listening, thank you. I know that a lot of people out there are not that happy these days. There is some anger out there, and people are swearing more. That's got to be tough for you guys, with a live camera and mic in your face all the time. I don't know about you. I have some residual profanity from the past. I used to be a nice guy, right? I used to be happy to see my kids before it was every day. I mean, honestly, I'd see them come down the stairs and be like, hey, good morning, what's up? Give them some options for breakfast. Now I see them coming, it's like this, again. And there's no menu anymore. It's like you're having a waffle. You're having an Eggo waffle. We got 96 of them from Costco. It's a countdown. When the waffles are gone, we're going back out there. No matter what. No, I'm actually feeling pretty good. You just had to find the silver linings this past year, right? Right? Just the silver linings. That's what I was looking for. The silver linings. I reconnected with my family. I reconnected with my wife. I thought we were connected before. Apparently not. She hated me. That came out. Because I wasn't home a lot, you know? Like I usually go out and complain about being married and having kids when I'm, doing a show. Meanwhile, I'm gone all the time. Now, though, I have some stuff to say. I have a year's worth of stuff to say. No, I feel good. We did reconnect, my wife and I. We would go for walks. That was the key this year. She used to give me crap, like, you're never around. We never go for a walk. That was her big example. When was the last time we went for a walk? Now I got walks stacked up till 2041. That is all we did this year was walk. We didn't even talk about it. Became nonverbal. We just make eye contact. Like, oh, is it time to go out there and pretend? Let's go pretend everything's okay. Let's not kill anyone today. Which I would never do. But people are giving me crap for that because I'm from Chicago and people are like, oh, you're from Chicago? What, are you guys all murdering everyone up there? Yeah, we are. That's how we're dealing with it. You want some? No, it's just good to chill. That's what I want everyone to do tonight. Just relax. Sit back and watch yourself probably lose. Okay? But that's okay. You'll see other people win. We should all be in this together. Just chill out. Tom was talking about taking a gummy. Maybe that's some advice. He is T-Skills after all. I will get into that sometimes. That's legal now in Chicago. And some people don't like that, right? Some people are like, oh, marijuana. It's like, you had 35 Miller Lights last night. You're an alcoholic. You're angry. You don't listen. No, I will take a gummy every now and then because it does chill me out, and that's helpful these days. A lot going on, right? I do drink, but I'm taking a little break right now because sometimes when I drink, I can be dismissive of people, of my kids. If I'm drinking, my kids come by, it's like, leave me alone, right? You want to stay up? Go in the basement. Your kids buzz by you when you're on a gummy. You're like, where are you going? You building Legos? I want to build some Legos. Yeah, let's build something. Let's make something together. Let's do a project. I love making stuff. You know what I made? I made you with your mom. You know that? We made you. I love you so much. So sorry I yelled at you about snacks earlier. I love snacks. Let's go get some snacks. And that's what you guys should do. Get some snacks. Get some drinks. Hunker down. Let's give out some trophies for you guys reporting horrible news. And that's really what happened this year, right? A lot of bad stuff happened. You told us about it, and now you get a trophy. Really, though, we're going to have a good time tonight. I just want to give a couple housekeeping notes before we do get rolling here. If you win tonight, and I'm rooting for you, I really am. If you do win, I want you to post an acceptance speech on social media, okay? Get on the socials, show everyone what you did, right? I mean, I know you get paid to do this job, you get a salary, you get vacation and all that, but you deserve a trophy too. And you should be bragging about it once you secure it. Post a picture online, use the hashtag EMMYChicago. You can also tag us at shy_natus, okay? Also want you to know that tonight's show is available with closed captioning. All you got to do is check the settings on your TV, turn it on, turn it off. We're going to begin shortly here with category 30 and count down to category 1. It seems like we're going to go that 30, 29, 28, but we don't. We jump around. There's subcategories. It's a whole thing. You'll get used to it. I do want to thank our sponsor real quick before we get in. World Business Chicago. Thank you. We really appreciate it. That is it in terms of the housekeeping. And now we are ready for the main event. Let's kick it off with our neighbors to the north. Our first presenter is from Milwaukee, WITI. Let's welcome Mary Stoker-Smith.
Hi everybody, I am Mary Stoker-Smith from WITI Milwaukee, standing in downtown Milwaukee on a balmy night, home of the best brats on the planet, the best beer, and the NBA champs Milwaukee Bucks. That's right, it is so good to be with you tonight. My categories are for Outstanding Achievement for Off-Camera Crafts. Category 30C, Writer, Short Form, Promos, PSAs, Commercials. And the nominees are
Emily Reagan, Composite, Fighting Irish Media. Matt Knutson, Grad 2020, Cold Open, WLS. Ben Rode, Indefinable, Northwestern Football, Northwestern University Athletics. And the Emmy goes to Ben Rode, Indefinable, Northwestern Football, Northwestern University Athletics.
Keep writing us off. Keep scheduling us for homecoming. Keep underestimating that small school from the big city, the smart kids that won't ever compete for a championship. Keep trying to define us.
Up next, category 30B, Writer, Long Form. And the nominees are
Brian Quijada, Where Did We Sit on the Bus? Bitter Jester Studios. Larry Potash, Composite, WGN. John Davies, Lincoln is Crying, The Grifters, Grafters, and Governors of Illinois, Lincoln is Crying Film, LLC. And the Emmy goes to Larry Potash, Composite, WGN.
These teachings have led to injustices towards Native Americans, African Americans, Jewish people, as well as people from Latin America, the Middle East, and more. But there's more going on here than just prejudice or pseudoscience.
Moving Moving on to Category 30A, Writer, News. And the nominees are
James Stratton, WREX. Carl Deffenbaugh, WITI. Michael Lowe, WGN. And the Emmy goes to Michael Lowe, WGN.
So far, Coach Cam's charity has built 7 weight rooms.
We need more stuff for kids to do after school. There's just not enough things for kids to do.
But the first one was at a small Catholic school in back of the yards.
You staying out of trouble?
A rough South Side neighborhood behind the old Union Stockyards, where nearly a third of the people live below the poverty line, and gang violence is a constant concern.
Category 29C, Photographer, Sports. And the nominees are
Scott Changnan, Composite, Marquee Sports Network. Jodane Masad, Emily Reagan, Robert Campbell, Zach Dutka, Indy Jackson, Notre Dame Football Composite, Fighting Irish Media. And the Emmy goes to Jodane Masad, Emily Reagan, Robert Campbell, Zach Dutka, Indy Jackson, Notre Dame Football Composite, Fighting Irish Media.
But undefeated doesn't mean a thing until the season's over. In the season, it's 1 week at a time. Because our legacy, we're not writing it in here. We're defining it out here. On this field, in our house.
But they gotta come through us. They gotta come through this brotherhood.
We've always played top 10 teams on the road. We finally got one coming to our stadium.
So put the damn ball down. The Irish are ready for game day.
Look out! Interception!
Category 29B, Photographer, Long Form. And the nominees are
Daniel Coleman, Michael D'Angelo, Waiting in Line, Bitter Jester Studios. Jordan Arsenault, Shannon Rovers Pipe Band, WLS. And the Emmy goes to Daniel Coleman, Michael D'Angelo, Waiting in Line, Bitter Jester Studios.
Day 1, first in line, number 1. Influencer status coming in hot. Everybody use the hashtag Ravinia Festival Inline Online 2020, 2021. Hashtag it. Let me tell you why it's important to be the first in line. Full access, all access, Ravinia Online. So far we got 2 followers, so you guys out there, come on, tune in, share the journey.
We're second.
And finally, Category 29A, Photographer, News. And the nominees are
Reed Nolan, Earth People 2, WBBM. Jerry Immig, Composite, WITI. Andrew Conkle, Composite, WITI. And the Emmy goes to Andrew Conkle, Composite, WITI.
Let's go, Milwaukee!
We know all cops are bad. We want the ones that are good to hold their bad friends accountable.
We are delighted to share that World Business Chicago, the city's private public economic development agency, is this year's Chicago Midwest Emmy Awards Platinum sponsor. World Business Chicago asked to join us in order to share and express gratitude on behalf of the city and business community. Thank you to everyone in media for being a literal beacon of light, of information, news, support, and resources during some of the city's darkest days. Your commitment and passion for getting news and information on air, many doing so from home, has been incredible, impactful, and meaningful. Thank you. We're weeks away from seeing 2021 come to a close. Thank God, right? In that spirit, World Business Chicago invites you to enjoy this short year in review video.
Chicago, a city of stories, tall buildings, and world-class journalism. The bustling, brawny, booming city has gone through change and challenges not seen since its destruction and rebirth 150 years ago. For a city built by bold action, it is no surprise that Chicago was the first major American city to convene a COVID recovery task force and share a roadmap to help businesses bounce back, with an emphasis on equity and inclusion.
It didn't just admire problems, it came up with tangible, thoughtful solutions where we could be measured on our effectiveness.
In the past year, Chicago's economy has come roaring back. We've seen companies from across the country and around the world move here, expand here, and name Chicago as its headquarters city, many fueled by our city's technology and startup ecosystem. Today, more than 20 tech unicorns call Chicago home, and we're the #1 city for venture capital ROI in the country.
My dream for World Business Chicago is to be the best economic development organization of anywhere in the world.
One undeniable advantage Chicago holds is our incredible talent in broadcast media. From newsrooms to our world-class universities, our city continues to lead the way in producing curious minds and tenacious storytellers. As we move past the challenges of the last 20 months, World Business Chicago looks forward to working with you to tell the stories of a city that is bold, creative, innovative, and inclusive.
I am only excited about what is to come. And if we've gotten this much done during a pandemic, just wait for it.
Let's continue now with our next category. We have a Ponce giving this one out. I feel like the Ponce should have their own category. There's so many. This one's Anthony, and he's from WFLD Chicago. Are we still doing call letters?
Good evening. We are coming to you from Navy Pier, home of Chicago's Ferris wheel. The original Ferris wheel, an outstanding achievement, debuted at the Columbian Exposition back in 1893. I am presenting categories for outstanding achievement for off-camera crafts, and we begin with category 28D, Editor Sports, and the nominees are
Pat Gostel, Corey Surratt, 2020, Season at a Distance, Cubs Productions. Ujesh Patel, Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, I Love Milwaukee, Milwaukee Bucks. Nicole Kunkel, Bucks Playoffs, The First Round, Bally Sports, Wisconsin. Emily Reagan, Composite, Fighting Irish Media. The Emmy goes to Emily Reagan, Composite, Fighting Irish Media.
Tournament cancel, avoiding large crowds, social distance.
The death of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery.
In-person instruction on campus.
Hold up. Before we get started, let's get one thing straight. We've been busy this offseason, devising plans for an undefeated season. We had the game plan for a global pandemic.
Next, category 28C, Editor Short Form, and the nominees are
Matthew Hoffman, Sweet Home Chicago, HMS Media. Bradley Guidera, Angel Melendez, This Week in Military History, Pritzker Military Museum and Library. Daniel Kuhlman, Spectral Quartet, Experiments in Living, Classical Album Promo, Bitter Jester Studios. Jason Polivoy, Patricia Tracy performs live at Chicago's historic Old St. Patrick's Church, One City Films. Nicholas DeGrazia, Marching Mustangs, Queen Medley, Bitter Jester Studios. And the Emmy goes to Matthew Hoffman, Sweet Home Chicago, HMS Media.
And category 28B, Editor Long Form, and the nominees are
Jordan Arsenault, Localish Composite, WLS. Brian Callies, Lincoln is Crying, The Grifters, Grafters, and Governors of Illinois, Lincoln is Crying Film, LLC. Jude Leak, Firsthand, Living in Poverty, WTTW. And the Emmy goes to Brian Callies, Lincoln is Crying, The Grifters, Grafters, and Governors of Illinois, Lincoln is Crying Film, LLC.
It was time once again for Rod's father-in-law to help him with his next career move. Abandoning his secure congressional seat, Rod successfully ran for governor of Illinois, promising reform and an end to corruption. It was from that office, he hoped, he would begin his ascent to the White House. Spoiler alert, Rod didn't make it to the White House.
Up next, Category 28A, Editor News. And the nominees are
Casey Klaus, WLS, Tim Visti, WBBM, Andrew Conkle, WITI. The Emmy goes to Tim Visti, WBBM.
It was like something out of a movie.
Earlier this week, Marilyn Hartman earned the title of Stowaway for sneaking onto a Southwest Airlines plane.
Marilyn Hartman
is busted again.
She was arrested.
Serial stowaway
Has slipped through security.
Again,
a serial stowaway.
Serial stowaway.
The infamous serial stowaway case.
So Bradford, I don't care at all if someone calls me crazy. I mean, the story is crazy.
next, Category 27, Directing. The nominees are
Nicholas DeGrazia, Where Did We Sit on the Bus? Bitter Jester Studios. Nicholas DeGrazia, Marching Mustangs, Queen Medley, Bitter Jester Studios. Jose Castillo, Milwaukee Bucks, Dante DiVincenzo, Marketing Day, Milwaukee Bucks. Matthew Hoffman, Celebrating Sir Andrew Davis, From Mozart to Stravinsky, HMS Media. And the Emmy goes to Nicholas DeGrazia, Marching Mustangs, Queen Medley, Bitter Jester Studios.
Next, Category 26, Lighting. The nominees are
Diane Fairchild, Liviu Pasare, Where Did We Sit on the Bus? Bitter Jester Studios. Thomas Godard, Chicago Stories, WTTW. And the Emmy goes to Thomas Godard, Chicago Stories, WTTW.
She was standing in front of the Haitian Pavilion every single day, handing out the pamphlet, with the idea that people would go from this fair all over the world and say, what the heck is going on in the United States?
It was simply savvy strategy, and Ida was a savvy woman.
Ida B. Wells's battles at the World's Fair were just getting started. But if there was one thing she had shown in her 31 years before coming to Chicago, she never went down without a fight.
Next, Category 25, Audio. The nominees are
Nicholas DeGrazia, Ken Dabick, Patrick Ditzel, Marching Mustangs, Queen Medley, Bitter Jester Studios. Jason Polivoy, Teddy Wachholz, Trisha Tracy performs live at Chicago's historic Old St. Patrick's Church, One City Films. Andrew Twiss, Ron Cook, Ken Dabick, Celebrating Sir Andrew Davis, From Mozart to Stravinsky, HMS Media. Andrew Twiss, Jesse Nolan, Sweet Home Chicago, HMS Media, Jason Brett Productions, American Stories Continuum. And the Emmy goes to Andrew Twiss, Jesse Nolan, Sweet Home Chicago, HMS Media, Jason Brett Productions, American Stories Continuum.
Let me explain something to you. 1 is 2, 2, 3 is 5. Come on, Chicago, time to take it in line. Everybody wants to go. Oh, yeah. Back to that same old place. Sweet home, Chicago.
And our final grouping, Category 24, Graphic Arts, Art Direction, Set Design. And the nominees are
Sarah Urquhart, David Johnson, CBS Chicago Image Composite, WBBM. Kelly King, Chicago Cubs Take the Field, Cubs Productions. Sarah Urquhart, Julia Durgarian, CBS Chicago Animation Composite, WBBM. Shane English, Composite, Cubs Productions. The Emmy goes to Sarah Urquhart, David Johnson, CBS Chicago Image Composite, WBBM.
What happened to you?
What is going on here? I need help. If there was nothing to hide, then why not show the video?
We're being bullied by the water company.
it was such a big moment that it's hard to forget.
Tried to reach out, I got no response.
And I was wondering if you could help me like you've helped so many other people.
All right, boys and girls, it's time to bundle up. Grab your parkas, your winter hats, your mittens. We're going to the frozen tundra. That's right, we're heading up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Our next presenter is from WBAY. Her name is Cammie Rapson.
Hello, everyone, and a warm Wisconsin welcome to the National Railroad Museum right outside of Green Bay. My name is Cammie Rapson. I'm a news anchor with WBAY TV2. We are the second oldest television station in Wisconsin. We got our start on March 17, 1953. The National Railroad Museum started in 1956 when a group of people decided they wanted a place dedicated to our railroad history in America. Today, it welcomes more than 100,000 people through its doors every year from all over the world. Today, I'll be presenting the nominees for Outstanding Craft Achievement for On-Air Camera Talent. For Category 23F, Investigative Reporter, the nominees are
Amanda St. Hilaire, WITI, Dave Savini, WBBM, and the Emmy goes to Dave Savini, WBBM.
DCFS refused to say anything about the pattern of abuse this child endured, but through police reports we obtained through a public records request, we were able to piece together a tale of systemic failure that let her down, how none of her abusers were ever charged, and how Child Protective Services failed to get her the help she needed to escape a world of horrifying child exploitation.
For Category 23E, Daily News Reporter, the nominees are
Derek Rose, 2020 Notebook, WISN. Jessica D'Onofrio, Composite, WLS. Hernan Frado, Composite, WSNS. Michael Lowe, Deadline Reporting, WGN. Aaron Mabin, Composite, WITI. And the Emmy goes to Derek Rose, 2020 Notebook, WISN.
I just want to make sure our voices are heard in any way that I can make that big, then I'm going to do it.
For Terrence Sims Jr., the idea came easy. Highlight the value of Black lives in the one way he knows best.
So I figured I'd combine my photography with the circumstances at hand to make it all happen.
Take 1,000 images of Black faces and unveil them on this important day.
I don't think our nation has really celebrated Juneteenth like we need to celebrate it.
Category 23D, Program Host, Moderator, Correspondent. The nominees are
Courtney Hall, Chicago Today, WMAQ. Elliot Bambro, Chicago's Best, WGN Studio Productions. Kira Cook, California's Santa Catalina Island, Terry Lissy Productions. Kira Cook, New York's Fire Island, Terry Lissy Productions. Matthew Rodriguez, Chicago Today, WMAQ. There are 2 Emmys being awarded in this category. Elliot Bambro, Chicago's Best, WGN Studio Productions. Kira Cook, California's Santa Catalina Island, Terry Lissy Productions.
Beautiful day off. Not gonna think about food at all. Should I call a restaurant? Nope. Just relax, Elliot. What if I'm missing something? Oh, screw it. I'm zooming.
Wrigley's next bold and incredible plan was to make the island home to spring training for a National League ball team that he just happened to own.
Go Cubs!
Go Cubs. Welcome, Kira.
Thanks, John.
A lot of people don't know that the Chicago Cubs did their spring training on Catalina from 1921 to 1951, and he knew if he brought the Chicago Cubs over here that the whole baseball media would come over here and all the pictures they would take would be of his Chicago Cubs and his beautiful Catalina Island in the background.
Category 23C, Sports Anchor, Sports Reporter, Sports Analyst, Play-by-Play. The nominees are
Cole Wright, Marquee Sports Network. Zora Stephenson, Valley Sports Wisconsin. Carlos Pena, Marquee Sports Network. Doug Glanville, Marquee Sports Network. Sophia Miniert, Bally Sports Wisconsin. Oswaldo Guillen, NBC Sports Chicago. Jim Paschke, Bally Sports Wisconsin. There are 2 Emmys being awarded in this category. Zora Stephenson, Bally Sports Wisconsin. Jim Paschke, Bally Sports Wisconsin.
Welcome back to Bucks basketball, everybody, here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. In the world that we live in, the word normal just needs to be thrown out the window. I mean, we're doing broadcasts from 1,000+ miles away. The Bucks live at Disney World, and friends and family, they watch the game like this. It's the hottest ticket in town.
Good afternoon and welcome to Bucks Playoff Basketball. Jim Paschke with Marcus Johnson. Zora Stevenson is here. On the way in this morning, the street vendors were out. You could smell their wares, and now the Deer District is full. I love warm weather basketball in Milwaukee.
23B, weather anchor. The nominees are
Rob Haswell, WITI. Maria Elena Ponticello, WSNS. Chris Reese, WISC. Candace King, WTVO, WQRF. There are 2 Emmys being awarded in this category. Rob Haswell, WITI. Maria Elena Ponticello, WSNS.
So as some of this stuff tries to get down and into that area, yeah, it's drying up and not really getting there. In fact, some of what you're seeing on the radar isn't even making it to the surface level. What happens is, while we've got the cold air in place, we also have the dry air in place. So as some of that snow falls, it dries up before it hits the ground, but the radar does pick it up in the air before then.
¿Qué tal? Les saluda María Elena Ponticello. Lo normal hubiera sido estancarnos en máximas por los 81 grados. Sin embargo, nosotros llegaremos a los bajos 90s, 94 es lo que se predice. Y ojo, por favor, nuestra recomendación es que no dejen nada en el interior del vehículo, no mascotas, no niños pequeños, porque una temperatura exterior de 95 grados en solo 10 minutos se puede convertir en una temperatura de 114 grados.
The final on-camera talent category is 23A, news anchor. The nominees are
Larry Potash, WGN. Mary Stoker Smith, WITI. Tanya Babich, WLS. Terrell Brown, WLS. Alfonso Gutierrez, WSNS. And the Emmy goes to Mary Stoker Smith, WITI.
Owners of an event space that held rallies supporting the president now facing some hefty fines. In fact, that rally had a messy ending with the man shoved to the ground, and it was all caught on camera. Fox 6's Ashley Sears is live with a closer look at all the controversy.
Good evening, and congratulations to all the nominees and winners tonight. It has been an incredibly challenging year for all of us, and you have kept our communities strong, engaged, and informed through each and every one of these challenging events over the last year and a half. You've also helped keep our academy strong. Nationwide, our membership has stayed steady through the pandemic. Our national competitions are at the highest entry levels they've ever been. Our relationship is the strongest it's been with the West Coast in decades. And in 2022, we will be launching the Children's and Family Emmy Awards, the first expansion of our national competition offerings since 1979. It's through your hard work and dedication that our industry remains so vibrant. The platforms and devices may change, but our television industry still fosters the kind of excellence we are proud to honor tonight and to celebrate the potential of in future generations through our Student Production Awards, which we held nationally just last week, and our scholarship program, which awarded more than $100,000 of scholarships this year. As you know, I was a proud scholarship winner a quarter century ago in my first introduction to the Chicago chapter, and it is my joy to be back with you again tonight. So congratulations to all the nominees and winners. Thank you for all your hard work, and enjoy the show.
All right, you know, one of the staples of the pandemic has been the less than popular Zoom call. However, it's a great way to connect with people. And that's what we did. We reached out to a bunch of people who hosted the Emmys before. And I am very excited to introduce our next panel of past hosts. We have Bill Curtis, Tim Kazurinsky, Ginger Z, Pat Tomasulo, Mike Toomey. Obviously, this Zoom call is not as glamorous as when you are actually hosting in person. Bill Curtis, you hosted the Emmys in 1988. Do you have any memories from that night?
That long ago. Everybody was beautiful. Everybody was young. And here is a picture from that time.
This is before color?
Yeah, before color. And you will recognize everybody. Some are with us, some are not. But that's the way we did it then.
How about you, Ginger?
When I hosted, what do I remember? Well, Tamron Hall and I hosted together, and I remember sitting backstage with her like schoolgirls. I don't know why, but there seemed to be long breaths of time between what we had to do. And so I really enjoyed having it felt kind of like sleepover.
My recollection, I did it a couple of times. Probably the craziest one was at the Goodman. We had the entire set of the Christmas Carol on stage. So of course they asked Tiny Tim to host when they're doing the show at the Goodman. You don't want to go through that.
Yeah, so maybe virtual isn't that bad after all.
No.
Deal with any of that.
It can be a blessing.
All right, I think one of the biggest themes is that this show was always bigger, right? I mean, we've hosted this, but every time you host it, they tell you about, it used to be huge names that hosted.
The first show of the Chicago Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, starring Jack Benny and Dave Garroway. Here is one of the first gentlemen of show business, Jack Benny.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think your wonderful town of Chicago is to be congratulated on your great contributions to television.
Here with his big hit, You'll Never Find, is the unmistakable sound of Mr. Lou Rawls, right here.
You'll never find, as long as you live.
When I hosted it, it was because other guys couldn't. Like, by the time they got to me, they're like, hey, the guy from Double Dare just got a stomach ache. Can you fill in?
Pat, I do remember one thing from my hosting experience, and that was I had my whole monologue planned. I was telling Mike about this earlier. And then right before I went on stage, instead of a handheld mic, they gave me a headset to wear, which is not the most conducive apparatus to be trying to deliver a stand-up monologue when I look like I'm working a drive-through.
All right, give me one limerick, please, just to make my day.
The Midwest Emmy Awards turn 63, but once again we gather virtually. With a little help from the past and hosts who made it a blast, Curtis, Kazurinsky, and Z. We deliver it to you.
Well, listen, I think that you each are a reminder of how monumental this night is, how big it's been in the past, and to see your faces, I mean, the contributions you've made to the Midwest, to our country, to Chicago, is significant. So thank you so much for taking time out of your lives to join us. Our next presenter is standing in front of one of Chicago's most famous landmarks. It survived the Chicago fire, and this guy survived living on Earth the last year and a half. No small accomplishment for any of us, right? Let's get him out here from WSNS Chicago, Hernan Frato.
Hi everybody, this is Hernan Frato with WSNS Noticiero Telemundo Chicago, and let me be completely honest with you, I'm honored, I am pleased to be joining you from Chicago's historic water tower. I'll be presenting the nominees for Outstanding Achievements for Commercials, Promotional Announcements, and Public Service Announcements. Let's start with the category number 22B, and that's Commercial Campaign, and these are the nominees.
Notre Dame Gold Rush Signing Day Campaign, Fighting Irish Media. Verlo Bam Gam 2020 SRH. And the Emmy goes to Verlo Bam Gam 2020 SRH.
Next, for category 22A, Commercial Sing a Spot, The nominees are
Children's Wisconsin, I'm Here brand, SRH. Overwhelmed, Kohler. Marquee Manifesto, Marquee Sports Network, Boomshot. The Wieners Circle, We're Here for You. Quality Meets Creative. Relentless, Schaefer Condon Carter. Hope Starts Here, Willow Creek Behavioral Health, Chrome Agency. And the Emmy goes to Relentless, Schaefer Condon Carter.
Next, category 21C, sports promotion, single spot or campaign. These are the nominees.
Where Stories Play, Cubs Productions. Change the Game, KT Design Company, Chicago White Sox Productions. Chicago Blackhawks 2021, Hockey is Home campaign. Banner, Chicago Blackhawks. The Emmy goes to Chicago Blackhawks 2021, Hockey is Home campaign. Banner, Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, you can dance to waltzes all night long, and you can dance to a sad, lonesome song. But when it comes to moving on, give me a rockin' song. Baby, let's go wild tonight. Baby, let's go wild. You gotta go wild if you wanna dance that rock and roll. Yeah, you gotta go wild if you wanna dance that rock and roll.
Moving on to category 21B, program promotion, single spot or campaign. These are the nominees.
The New You, WCIU. Backstory, WGN. And the Emmy goes to Backstory, WGN.
The surprising alliance that helped propel Lincoln to power. 3 Chicago tales of betrayal, jealousy, and the murder of a beloved mayor. And Larry heads west to uncover a border town with an underground secret.
New true tales, new backstory.
And now category 21A, news promotion, single spot or campaign. These are the nominees.
Voiceless, WBBM. ABC 57 Weather App, Tower Climber, WBND. Weather Here, WBBM. Telemundo Wisconsin News Image Campaign, WYTU. And the Emmy goes to Weather Here, WBBM.
You are here. And the weather you care about, the weather that affects you, is here too. But the weather here is going to affect you. And you need to know that. You need to be informed, to be better prepared before what's here gets here. That's why our meteorologists are constantly analyzing and interpreting new information in real time so you can stay safe, protected, and happy here. Anytime, all the time, in real time. Real-time weather. Find it here.
And for our final grouping, category number 20, community and public service announcements, single spot or campaign. These are the nominees.
Children's Wisconsin, Shine Through, SRH. Origin, Daily Planet Productions, LTD. A Christmas Candle, Fighting Irish Media. Grandma's Treats, Daily Planet. And the Emmy goes to Children's Wisconsin, Shine Through, SRH.
These complex conditions, like anxiety and depression, can impact any child, anywhere. It's time to shine through and start a conversation that makes mental and behavioral health just as important as physical health. We are your kids, and this is our crisis. It's time to shine through and light a way forward. See how you can shine through and help create solutions for kids' mental and behavioral health with Children's Wisconsin.
All right, it's time to thank our silver sponsors of tonight's program, Spirit Juice Studios and WGN TV. Thank you. All right, let's head out to the capital of Wisconsin. You want to take a stab at that? It's Madison, right? We have WMTV's Taj Mahal there, who will recognize achievement in college production. I wonder if Rodney Dangerfield's going to get one. You know, he went to college in Madison.
Good evening, I'm Taj Mahal at Library Mall on the University of Wisconsin-Madison's campus, home of the Badgers. Tonight I'm presenting the Crystal Pillar Awards for the TV Academy's College Student Awards. For category S7 Talent, and the nominees are
Luis Mejia Aarons, Loyola University. Jenny Huh, Northwestern University. Megan Lebowitz, Northwestern University. Anna Marie Schutt, Illinois State University. Joey Safchik, Northwestern University. There are 2 Crystal Pillars awarded in this category. Luis Mejia Aarons, Loyola University. Joey Safchik, Northwestern University.
Loyola University has confirmed that every single student planning to return onto campus this fall must be vaccinated. Universities like DePaul or Northwestern still haven't confirmed if a vaccine will be needed for their in-person activities. Reporting from Loyola University, I'm Luis Mejia.
The 3 other people recommended by the search committee for the athletic director position were women, including 2 women of color.
The hiring of Mike Polisky as AD proves that Northwestern is less concerned with the well-being of student athletes and more concerned with money and loyalty.
Unlike so many of the protests this year, this march was organized by faculty members, not students. Winokur says faculty members have a responsibility to have their students' backs.
For category 6 Public Service Announcements and Commercials, the nominees are
Go Vote, Loyola University. Tattoo Avenue, Loyola University. The Crystal Pillar goes to Go Vote, Loyola University.
I want to hear what matters, so others can hear what I hear, see what I see. Listen to your voice. Go vote.
Category 5 is Sports. The nominees are
Bring Your Own Juice, Northwestern University. Leveling Up, Esports on College Campuses, Northwestern University. The Crystal Pillar goes to Leveling Up, Esports on College Campuses, Northwestern University.
It's more than just a game. Many colleges are recognizing the popularity of esports, one-on-one or team-based competitive video games. They're even giving out scholarships to players. But how does college esports work? And why are universities suddenly so invested in it?
The nominees for category S4AB, short form, fiction and nonfiction are
The Test, Loyola University. Grief Nightclub, Northwestern University. Love 2020, Loyola University. Heart Chaser, Northwestern University. Let Us Breathe, Northwestern University. And the Crystal Pillar goes to Let Us Breathe, Northwestern University.
This community has already been plagued with polluters for a number of years. There's higher rates of asthma and respiratory illnesses and also rare cancers because the soil is still polluted.
For category S3, Arts and Entertainment, the nominees are
Frida Kahlo, College of DuPage. 100 Square Feet, Loyola University. And the Crystal Pillar goes to 100 Square Feet, Loyola University.
As far as film going away, it will not. Digital guys that say digital is better, and then you have the film guys that says no, film is better. And what I say is I get upset when they say digital is better than film. I don't agree.
Category S2B, General Assignment Light News, the nominees are
Unsung Hero, Margarita Manetas at Evanston CVS, Northwestern University. IRS warns university students of email impersonation scam, Northwestern University. Spreading the news, Medill turns 100, Northwestern University. Yarn Bomber, Columbia College Chicago. And the Crystal Pillar goes to IRS warns university students of email impersonation scam, Northwestern University.
Last month, the IRS alerting university students and staff of an impersonation scam, an email saying your tax refund payment has been recalculated. But alongside email scams, legitimate emails from Northwestern offering COVID-19 vaccines. So I decided to come onto campus and ask students, what are they willing to click on?
Next up, S2A General Assignment Serious News. The nominees are
Protesting Polisky at Northwestern, Northwestern University. Election 2020, The Future of Obamacare, Northwestern University. COVID-19's impact on Chicago's undocumented immigrants, Northwestern University. Old School Activism, A History of Protest at Northwestern, Northwestern University. The Crystal Pillar goes to COVID-19's impact on Chicago's undocumented immigrants, Northwestern University.
These are like the people who died in my church from COVID.
Beyond the walls of Lozano's church, a similar story. According to a study by a pro-immigration group, over 2/3 of undocumented immigrants work frontline essential jobs.
For category S1 newscasts, the nominees are
Northwestern News Network 2021 Chicago Show, Northwestern University. Marquette Now, March 31st, 2021, Marquette University. Northwestern News Network 2020 Election Show, Northwestern University. And the Crystal Pillar goes to Northwestern News Network 2021 Chicago Show, Northwestern University.
A push to vaccinate all Chicagoans. We sit down with those tackling vaccine hesitancy.
I just love what I do.
Plus, we spend a morning with a Chicagoan who just can't help her desire to help others. And Argyle Street offers Asian delicacies with culture and community on the menu. And finally, after a year of rough waters, hopes for smooth sailing as Chicago River Cruises chart a post-COVID world.
The Silver Circle is a who's who of broadcasting, both on camera and behind the scenes. In fact, if you're not a member of the Silver Circle, you're no one. Really though, it was established by the Academy to recognize outstanding individuals who have devoted 25 years or more to the television industry. So really, you just get it for sticking around. These people, though, have made significant contributions to local TV. And as is our custom, we unveil the incoming class of honorees during our Emmy ceremony.
The Chicago Midwest chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences is proud to announce the names of the very deserving Silver Circle honorees who will be inducted in May of 2022. Mary Margaret Bartley is an Emmy and Peabody Award-winning scenic designer. She is best known for her vision and creativity in designing sets for hundreds of highly successful TV productions. Derek Blakely is a native Chicagoan who reported and anchored for WMAQ-TV before becoming a network correspondent for CBS News. He capped off his career with 3 decades covering his hometown for CBS 2, Chicago. Martha Teichner honed her reporting skills at Chicago's NBC5 before becoming a highly respected correspondent for CBS News. She's covered major national and international stories, as well as in-depth reports on culture and the arts. Phil Ponce was a WBBM News reporter for 9 years before becoming the face of news and public affairs at WTTW. He built a reputation of fair-minded yet probing interviews as the host of Chicago Tonight for almost 3 decades. Roz Varon pioneered traffic reporting and morning newscast at WLS-TV. She won countless awards for appearances in public affairs and specialty programming and is well known for giving back to the community. We will also induct 3 television greats who are no longer with us. Don Cornelius was the creator, producer, and host of Soul Train, the longest-running syndicated music series to appear on American television, and a milestone for African-American entertainment. Dick Johnson was one of Chicago's all-time premier journalists, as he reported and anchored for nearly 4 decades, first at WLS and then at WMAQ. He was a gifted writer who cared about viewers and was a tireless mentor to students and colleagues. Morris Jones was a WBBM News cameraman known for his excellent technical skills and an empathy for many of his less fortunate news subjects. He was well-traveled, having covered several Olympics and the inauguration of President Nelson Mandela in South Africa. We plan to celebrate the careers of these outstanding individuals with a dinner and a ceremony at the Millennium Knickerbocker Hotel in May of the coming year. Congratulations to all of Chicago's 2022 Silver Circle honorees.
Let me add my congratulations to our Silver Circle honorees. Congrats. Okay, the TV Academy is now accepting nominations for the Wisconsin Silver Circle, so we can honor the accomplishments of our neighbors up to the north in the coming year. We're just about halfway home on the awards front. How we feeling out there? I'm going to hand things off to another great anchor from Chicago, WGN, Lourdes Duarte.
Good evening. I'm here in Chicago's North Side neighborhood of Lakeview, where behind me you get iconic Wrigley Field, and in the distance behind the buildings are beautiful Lake Michigan. I will be presenting the category of Outstanding Achievement in Programming. We begin with category 19, short or long form. The nominees are
Wisconsin Foodie, The Tandem, Free Meals, Radio Tower. Senior Dating, WLS. Wisconsin Foodie, Washington Island, Radio Tower. And the Emmy goes to Senior Dating, WLS.
How young would I be? Bring them on. Let me die trying. I think I'm a pretty good guy. I'm not asking for too much, I'm more worried about what she's going to ask. Do you want to go to Vegas once a month? Or that would bother me.
It was a blind date, although he wasn't blind.
She was telling the waitress, I didn't like it that she's saying I'm a blind date. I mean, I felt like I was walking in there with a German Shepherd and a cane.
Up next for category 18B, Human Interest Short Form. The nominees are
Tristan, Storybridge Studio. Never an Excuse to Quit, Big Idea Company. Honoring Canine Domi, Chicago Police Department. Aaron Jones, My Cause, My Cleats, Green Bay Packers. Children's Wisconsin, Carson Documentary, SRH. El Ritmo de la Vida, WGBO. Souls of the Y, Jenny's Story, Certs Media. A Work of Art, Illinois Farm Bureau. And the Emmy goes to Children's Wisconsin, Carson Documentary, SRH.
At this point, I was conscious enough to realize, the gravity of the decision that I had made and the consequences from it.
And I said, there is nothing to be sorry for. You are forgiven for anything and everything. It's okay. This is an illness. This is not your fault.
It's like you had blinders on and all of a sudden your peripheral vision just got way better. All of a sudden, because you see maybe just how many people struggle with this on a daily basis.
Our next category, 18A, Human Interest, Long Form. The nominees are
The Girl Inside, Behold. Black History Month History Makers, WBBM. Purpose Over Pain, Civic Orchestra of Chicago, Green River Films, Inc. DreamX America, DreamX America. Graduados 2020, Nada los detiene, WGBO. The Emmy goes to Purpose Over Pain, Civic Orchestra of Chicago, Green River Films, Inc.
And I just don't want his memory to just drift away in the backdrop, in the dark, or fade, So as long as I have a voice, until I die, I'm going to always commemorate his life.
Category 17, Children, Youth, Teen, Short, or Long Form. The nominees are
Andrea Pinkney, National Author Engagement, University of Chicago, UChicago Creative. Christmastown comes to First Stage, Traveling Lemur Productions, LLC. Grad 2020, For Chicago, by Chicago, WLS. Carrie Frost, Fly Fishing Boss, PBS Wisconsin. And the Emmy goes to Carrie Frost, fly fishing boss, PBS, Wisconsin.
People from Stevens Point even called Carrie and her father Stevens Point's experts in the sport. Carrie dreamt of spending all of her days fishing in streams. But when it came time to graduate from school, Carrie started thinking about what she might do as a grown-up. Her choices were limited. Married women could not earn their own wages, so that was out. Single women could, but there were very few careers acceptable for women.
And my next category is 16B, Arts, Entertainment. Short form. The nominees are
Notre Dame women's basketball, Shoes for Change, Fighting Irish Media. Eye on the Arts, Madison Wise, Blacksmith, Lakeshore Public Media. Eye on the Arts, Luke Elliott, Luthier, Lakeshore Public Media. Patricia Treacy performs live at Chicago's historic Old St. Patrick's Church, One City Films. And the Emmy goes to Eye on the Arts, Madison Wise, Blacksmith, Lakeshore Public Media.
I'd been watching blacksmithing videos and I found this piece of rail track. I'd known that people would use these things for anvils. I'm like, that's it. That's my first piece. I carried that thing around in a backpack, like as I walked around, to actually remind me to continue to pursue this thing. So yeah, I did that for like a year. I actually ended up building my first forge out of an 8-inch frying pan. So I got some plumbing parts, put it together in a fan from a bathroom and made my first forge.
And my last category, 16A, Arts, Entertainment, Long Form. The nominees are
Boogeymen, Unmasking Horror's Greatest Movie Monsters, WFLD. The Great Chicago Quiz Show, WTTW. One Man, A Christmas Carol, HMS Media. Chicago from the Air, WTTW. And the Emmy goes to Boogeymen, Unmasking Horror's Greatest Movie Monsters, WFLD.
What makes a great movie monster?
A great movie monster. There has to be anguish, and occasionally, just for a split second, you see it with Freddy. He's confused or he's damaged, and I think that supplies to the audience a part of the monster's motivation, that the monster's also in hell.
Good evening. I'm John Owens, and I'm the president of the Chicago Midwest chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. And we're happy to be here with you again this year, celebrating our chapter's outstanding achievements in broadcasting and visual media. It's something we've done every year since 1958. Once again, we're celebrating virtually, but we're looking forward to being back live with you in 2022, celebrating the best in broadcasting from the Chicago Midwest chapter. Entries in tonight's Emmys were judged by industry professionals from 9 other regional chapters across the country. These chapters include the following markets: New York City, San Francisco, Boston and New England, Miami and the rest of Florida, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Denver, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Nashville, Memphis, the Carolinas, Hawaii, Houston, Dallas, and the rest of the markets in Texas. Emmy entries are judged against the standard of excellence on 3 criteria: content, creativity, and execution. Based on this scoring by peer judges, there could be no winner, one winner, or more than one winner. The chapter is grateful to our accounting partners, Whipflea, for certifying tonight's results. Thanks to Karen Mitchell, Sandra Wilson, and Sarah Makuta from Whipflea LLP. And also, thanks to our sponsor, World Business Chicago. And of course, thanks to our host, who we're rejoining now, Pat McGann.
Hey, we're seeing some great posts online. I want to remind you, if you win, post something on the socials. Tag us. Use hashtag EmmyChicago or hashtag Shy_Natus. We want to see all you guys out there on the socials. We'll retweet, we'll tag you back. Let's have some fun out there in the other world. You know what I'm talking about? The one that's ruining our real world? Anyway, tonight's show is available, as a reminder, closed captioning. You can always turn those on and off. And as you've noticed, we started with category 30. We're making our way to category 1. There's subcategories in there. We're trying to trick you. This is long, all right? We're manipulating numbers and letters. Who cares, though? Nothing matters anymore. You can follow along. we have a virtual program book at chicagoemmy.org. I want to remind you that tonight's program is being sponsored by World Business Chicago. Thank you again. All right, let's resume our award announcements. Here from WSAW in Wausau, Wisconsin, is Dale Ryman.
Greetings and salutations from Wausau, the ginseng capital of the world. I bet you didn't know that. I'm Dale Ryman with WSAW Television here in the shadows of the Grand Theater. Built in 1927, one of the landmarks here in central Wisconsin. I can't even begin to tell you how thrilled and excited I am to be a part of this year's regional Emmys. And a big heartfelt congratulations to all of our nominees tonight. Now I'll be continuing presentation for Outstanding Achievement for Programming for Category 15, Special Event Coverage. The nominees are
Chicago Opera Theater's La Hija de Rappaccini, Valhalla Media, the Magnificent Mile Lights Festival, WLS, Graduation 2020, The After Party, WLS, Countdown Chicago 2021, WLS. And the Emmy goes to Countdown Chicago 2021, WLS.
Your girl need a doll and that's $100. 패키지 내 백내 몫을 원해. Come on, get some. 딱 같지만 어쩔 순 없잖아. What's up? I'm right back. 화가 sweater, car back. Plain Jane get hijacked, don't like me. Then tell me how you like that, like that.
Up next, Category 14B, Public Affairs Single Program. The nominees are
Vaccinating Illinois, WGN, Our Chicago, Living While Black, WLS, Illinois Educators in Action, Mission Mady, Lucid Creative Agency, Black Faith Matters, Spirit Juice Studios, Our Chicago, Asian Voices, WLS, Our Chicago, Black Voices of Change, WLS. Hairstylist gives free haircuts to homeless in her community, Grotto Network. The Emmy goes to Vaccinating Illinois, WGN.
Illinois has just risen a bit from the bottom, but clearly still on the low side, with Michigan and Wisconsin faring much better. But this week, every state is ramped up. Here's what that means for avoiding COVID-19. When it comes to immunity, how much is in each shot? For the newest prospect, Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, all it takes is one. Studies suggest the body immediately begins an immune response, but it can take 2 weeks to wage a full-scale assault on SARS-CoV-2 after exposure.
Next, we have Category 14A, Public Affairs Program Series. Your nominees are
Here and Now, 2020 election coverage, PBS Wisconsin. Vote for Me, Storybridge Studio. Chicago Tonight, WTTW. And the Emmy goes to Chicago Tonight, WTTW.
We were in the protests. I mean, we were trying to walk alongside them, or in one case in Wrigleyville, run alongside them with our camera crew, which went decently well, I think. So we tried to give people a sense of what it was like to be there, what people's demands were, why they were marching in the first place. Probably the most interesting marches that we covered were in Pilsen and Little Village, where people had organized so-called unity marches, organized to express solidarity between the Black and brown communities after a few days of really heightened tensions on the southwest side of Chicago.
Yeah, you guys definitely got your steps in.
We did get our steps in, and I have to mention, so did our photographers, and they were amazing throughout all this.
And finally, Category 13 Magazine Program, Single Program or Series. The nominees are
Backstory Composite, WGN. Built to Last, Episode 703, Waterworks, Answers Media. Stroll on State, WREX, Graham Spencer Content and Brand Solutions, Rockford Forest City Church. Backstory, Episode 1, Season 7, WGN. And the Emmy goes to Backstory Composite, WGN.
The backstory of beer encompasses religion, science, art, economics, politics, and culture. Ancient brewing recipes on tablets, the Pilgrim's beer supply on the Mayflower, beer wars of the late 19th century, prohibition in the 20th. The recipes change, but its role as a social lubricant has been consistent for centuries.
You gotta assume that everybody likes a little buzz.
All right, I don't know if you know this, but in 1959, one of the all-time legends of comedy received his first big break doing this very show. He was making an appearance on the Chicago Emmy Awards, and he killed it. He got rave reviews, and his career took off. Throughout the years, he's remained a friend of the Emmys. He's a true gentleman, a Midwesterner, a Chicagoan at heart, and I could not be more excited to introduce him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Newhart. Well, I couldn't be more thrilled about this. And Bob, I want to ask you this because I've hosted this 3 times and nothing's really happened. But you made an appearance in 1959 and it ended up changing your life.
The local Emmys were a definite part of what I laughingly refer to as my meteoric rise to stardom. The Warner Brother record people were coming through town, and I did a routine called the Abe Lincoln and the press agent.
Legendary bit, and we're going to share a little bit of that bit
right.
tonight.
Listen, Abe, I got your note. What seems to be the problem? You're thinking what? Of shaving it off. Abe, don't you see that's part of the image? Yeah, along with that stovepipe hat and the shawl.
So, but anyway, as a result of this, for them, they say, okay, all right, we'll give them a recording contract out of it. That album, The Button on Mine, eventually for 1960 won the album of the year. So,
album of the year.
It all kind of tied into the Chicagoland Emmy shows.
So 1959, not televised because of the strike. You perform in the Trib Tower in front of all these big names. Were you nervous?
Tried terrified.
No, that's beautiful. I mean, it really did set you off on this career path. And then, not forgetting your roots, not forgetting where you came from, you come back in 1978 and you're the host.
Bob Newhart.
Great memories, and I was meeting people like Lee Phillips, and that I had never met. And I was like, wow.
That is our show tonight. For tonight, thank you very much for inviting me. I wouldn't have missed it for the world 20 years later. Would all the winners please come on stage? Thank you very much. Good night.
Being back in Chicago, even on a Zoom, is great. I have so many great memories of Chicago. It was and still is a great city. And
you made this night as special as it could be, really. Thanks for saving me.
Thank you, Pat.
The Chicago chapter of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences is proud to introduce our 2021 Outstanding College Scholars, who will each receive a $5,000 award in recognition of their talent and potential contribution to the industry. Amanda Brennan is a senior and Dean's List student at the University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana. She combines outstanding skills of photography and writing in her goal to become a successful broadcast journalist. Hosting Good Morning Illini, the university's morning news show, along with experiencing internships at WGN in Chicago and NBC's Today Show in New York, have contributed to her pursuit of a career in broadcasting. Amanda receives the Natus Chicago Board of Governors Scholarship. Kaylee Griffin is a master's candidate at Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism. Her plan of becoming a television news correspondent developed during her undergrad years at DePauw University in Greencastle, Indiana, where she created, reported, and produced a show for D3 TV, the campus news station, focusing on national issues and their connection to the local community. She also completed a network internship for CBS's 60 Minutes.
DePaul University honored Kaylee as the senior who has contributed the most toward university broadcasting and shows the promise of professional achievement in electronic media. Kaylee receives the Tom Skilling Scholarship. Grace Talmadge is the Dean's List Senior at Columbia College. Full of energy and excitement about production, Grace has spent many hours working on her own original ideas and in a variety of professional production assistant roles, like The Big Leap, a Fox TV pilot. Currently, she has landed a production assistant role on a Disney pilot. Her goals include getting a staff writing job on a television show and eventually developing her own productions. Grace receives the Sharon A. Palermo Memorial Scholarship. Becky Buds is a senior at DePaul University. As a reporter for Good Day DePaul, she produces the news stories that may have a state or national focus and connects them to the local community, thus getting the experience she needs to fulfill her plan of becoming a local television journalist. Her hope is to be able to focus on local news, feeling that there is something special about the audience being aware of events in their community. Becky receives the Bernstein Global Wealth Scholarship. Megan Lebowitz is a senior at Northwestern University. Her goal is to become a broadcast reporter with a focus on politics and international affairs. In her role as news director and reporter for the university, she's covered impeachment, State of the Union address, and Supreme Court arguments. She's also had several network internships and is currently working as an intern for NBC's Meet the Press. An outstanding every quarter Dean's List student, Megan receives the Ephraim Family Foundation Scholarship. The Chicago chapter of Natus is grateful to all those who have contributed to the scholarship fund.
Hey, you might be wondering out there, how can I make a difference? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can make a difference by donating to our scholarship fund. The Midwest chapter has distributed more than $500,000 in scholarships since the mid-90s. These scholarships are great. They're awarded to students in journalism, broadcast television, production, and communications. Donations go to the Natus Chicago Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. To donate, visit chicagoemmyonline.org/students. One thing you may not know is that our chapter's junior board has started their own podcast. It's called The Pursuit. Guests have included Thea Flaum, Pablo Iglesias, and Joel Wiseman. I have not been invited, but here I am plugging it. I'm kidding. I'm happy to plug it. This podcast is great. It features emerging media professionals seeking advice from leaders in their field. It's on all major podcast platforms. Go to Apple, Spotify. Just check out The Pursuit podcast. All right, let's get back out there, hand out some more awards. We got WLS, this guy everyone knows, Alan Kraszewski. Take it away, Alan.
Good evening, everyone. Alan Kraszewski. It's great to be with you here. I'm actually in Chicago's beautiful Millennium Park. You can see the Crown Fountain installation behind me, but no water in the fountains tonight because it's just too cold. So I'll be continuing tonight with the nominees for Outstanding Achievement in Programming. And first up for me is Category 12. This is Interview Discussion, Long or Short Form. And the nominees are
Why Jesse Jackson Matters, Endigo Studio, Chicago Tonight, The Week in Review, WTTW, Kenosha in Crisis, Part 1, WISN. And the Emmy goes to Kenosha in Crisis, Part 1, WISN.
To see what happened here is just it's a heartbreaking situation. However, having said that, now is the time that we have to look at our community and say, okay, what do we need to do to heal? What do we need to do to make it so these things don't happen again? How do we deal with racism in our community? And I'll just start with our community, but throughout the country.
Up next, it's Category 11, Informational, Instructional, Long or Short Form, and the nominees are
Race in Chicago, WMAQ, Meet the Lab, PBS Wisconsin, AKA Teacher, PBS Wisconsin, Mental Health Awareness, Don't Do Nothing, Illinois Farm Bureau, Allied Race to Victory, World War II Island Hopping in the Pacific Theater, Virtual Tour, Pritzker Military Museum and Library. And the Emmy goes to Mental Health Awareness, Don't Do Nothing, Illinois Farm Bureau.
We want to empower people to ask for help, but we also want to make sure that we are reaching out ourselves. We're expressing concern. We're talking about the things we notice. Hey, you know, I noticed that you usually stick around and chat at the farm, you know, when we've wrapped something up, but right now you're always in a rush to get out. Is everything okay? Just showing that genuine concern, that genuine care for someone, and more importantly than anything is just listening.
Turning now to Category 10C, Topical Documentary. And the nominees are
Latino Wisconsin Films, LLC. The Power of Us, Confronting Our Climate Crisis, Power Tower Foundation. Making Sense of 2020, WTTW. And the Emmy goes to Latino Wisconsin Films, LLC.
Instead of being a school district over 1,300, we would have about just over 400 students in our school district if we had no Latino students right now. They're kids. They're not kids who have a demographic label to them. They're kids. They have an understanding of other cultures that many students in small rural communities in Wisconsin never have an opportunity to be a part of.
And here now is Category 10B, Historical Documentary, and the nominees are
Ida B. Wells, A Chicago Stories Special, WTTW. Lincoln is Crying, The Grifters, Grafters, and Governors of Illinois, Lincoln is Crying Film, LLC. Mikvah, Democracy is a Verb, Media Process Group. Nancy Zeman, Extraordinary Grace, PBS, Wisconsin. The Great Chicago Fire, A Chicago Stories Special, WTTW. The Emmy goes to Ida B. Wells, A Chicago Stories Special, WTTW.
She was the ultimate agitator and feared because of it.
As racial terror reigned over the South,
there were close to 200 lynchings in Tennessee alone.
A young African-American woman struck back with her pen.
She was writing not just to inform, but to shame. She says, I'm going to challenge you on this threadbare lie that African-American men are lynched because they rape white women.
She fled to Chicago, where she emerged as a radical black leader.
My final presentation this evening is for Category 10A, Cultural Documentary, and the nominees are
Nuestra Herencia, WGBO. Street Nun formed a community through canning, Grotto Network. Live at Mr. Kelly's, Happy Medium Ventures. Wisconsin's Scenic Treasures, Southern Vistas, PBS, Wisconsin. There are 2 Emmys being awarded in this category. Nuestra Herencia, WGBO. Wisconsin's Scenic Treasures, Southern Vistas, PBS, Wisconsin.
Yo me identifico como latino.
Yo me identifico como Latinx.
Yo me identifico como una mujer boricua, una mujer puertorriqueña.
Yo me identifico pues, como un mexicanote hispano a todo dar.
The landscape calls, with a beckoning to explore. Out across Wisconsin lie valleys and prairies just within reach. A richness of sights and sounds, awaiting discovery. Along the trail, beside the shore, beneath the open skies. Wisconsin Scenic Treasures, Southern Vistas.
Over the past year, our chapter has lost a number of luminaries. We now remember those media greats whose contributions will be missed.
Okay, you know the Midwest dominated in hoops this past year. We got the NBA champs in Milwaukee. We have the WNBA champs right here in Chicago, making our city champions again. We're going to give out some awards for some sports categories. So I'm going to hand things off to WBBN's Ryan Baker.
I'm Ryan Baker at Wintrust Arena, the home of the WNBA World Champion Chicago Sky. We're about to crown some champs for the Chicago Midwest Emmys in Outstanding Achievement in Sports Programming. It is my honor to present the nominees. First up, Category 9G, Sports Interview Discussion, Short or Long Form. Here are the nominees.
Classes in Session Special, MLB's Decision on All-Star Game, Marquee Sports Network. Cubs 360, Juneteenth Special, Marquee Sports Network. Benchwarmers, Conversations on Culture with Jack Swarbrick, Fighting Irish Media. And the Emmy goes to Classes in Session Special, MLB's Decision on All-Star Game, Marquee Sports Network.
It has sparked a renewed debate over the role of sports leagues in the political landscape. We discussed Major League Baseball's decision with a current player, Cubs outfielder Jason Hayward, a former player and president of the Players Alliance, Curtis Granderson, and Ken Rosenthal, who has covered baseball for over 3 decades. Did baseball square this one up on its way to making its intended impact, or will the game take a fastball to the ribs and cower to the coming political blowback?
Next up, Category 9F, Sports Documentary. Here are the nominees.
Mayor of Rush Street, Marquee Sports Network. 2020, Season at a Distance, Cubs Productions. And the Emmy goes to Mayor of Rush Street, Marquee Sports Network.
He was not a guy that was afraid of the bright lights in big city.
Bright lights shining on us all the time.
He was a professional entertainer.
Peanut!
I suppose a lot of it is performance.
Showers in the outfield, bleacher games, doing games with a shirt off.
But that's showbiz.
His gift was entertaining people.
On now to Category 9E, Live Sporting Event or Game. The nominees are
MLS Decision Day 2020, Chicago Fire Football Club. Cubs Game, May 26, 2021, Marquee Sports Network. Cubs Baseball versus Dodgers, May 4th, 2021 and May 5th, 2021, Marquee Sports Network. Bucks Basketball, Valley Sports, Wisconsin. And the Emmy goes to Cubs Game, May 26, 2021, Marquee Sports Network.
Welcome to Cubs Baseball on Marquee Sports Network. Tonight from PNC Park, it is Game 2 of this 3-game set. The Pirates and the Cubs. Cubs able to rally last night to take the opener and improved to 25-22. And now the Cubs find themselves just 1 game back and all even in the loss column in the National League Central. So things have been going well for the Cubs.
This is Category 9D, Sports One-Time Program Special. The nominees:
Milwaukee Bucks, Jim Paschke and Giannis Antetokounmpo. One Final Interview, Milwaukee Bucks. Unstoppable Women, NBC Sports, Chicago. GN Sports, Voices for Change, WGN. Total Packers 2020 Season Preview, Green Bay Packers. Spotlight, Bob Uecker, Valley Sports, Wisconsin. And the Emmy goes to Milwaukee Bucks, Jim Paschke and Giannis Antetokounmpo. One Final Interview, Milwaukee Bucks.
Welcome back to Basketball and Bucks.com TV. I'm Jim Paschke. I'll tell you the story. When my son, and you'll appreciate this as a father, when my son was small, he grew up with this business. He was born 2 years after I started with the Bucks, and every year I would ask him if he wanted me to be home more.
Yeah.
And he would always say, no, I love the Bucks and I love your job.
Up next, Category 9C, Sports Single Program, Post-Produced, Edited. The nominees are
Icon, Notre Dame Football, Fighting Irish Media. The Breakdown, Cubs Productions. Irishography, Notre Dame Football, Fighting Irish Media. Let's Play 2, Marquee Sports Network. And the Emmy goes to The Breakdown, Cubs Productions.
I got 2 strikes,
just choke up a little bit and make something happen.
Here comes the 0-2.
When I hit it, I was like, it's way, way gone. I'm like, take that.
High drive into right back, and the wall is gone!
I knew that was it. I knew that was a grand slam.
Here's Category 9B, Sports Program Series Live, and the nominees are
Bucks Live, Valley Sports, Wisconsin. Cubs Live, opening day, April 1st, 2021, Marquee Sports Network. White Sox pregame live, NBC Sports Chicago. Blackhawks pregame live, NBC Sports Chicago. The Emmy goes to Blackhawks pregame live, NBC Sports Chicago.
Patrick Kane, a highlight reel goal!
The number one star of the game from the Blackhawks, number 88, Patrick Kane.
Up by Kane. Patrick Kane to the middle of the net. A hat trick! Patrick Kane is a hat trick!
So many great Kane moments over the last 999 regular season games, not to mention those postseason games as well. What are we in store for tonight? Good evening and welcome to Blackhawks Pregame Live.
And now for our final sports category, 9A, Sports Short Form Content. The Emmy nominees are
Notre Dame Football ACC Championship Primer, Fighting Irish Media. Cub Together, Cubs Productions. Milwaukee Bucks Giannis, I Love Milwaukee, Milwaukee Bucks. Notre Dame Football, A Season in Review, Fighting Irish Media. Green and Yellow, Green Bay Packers. Notre Dame Football, Senior Day Feature, Fighting Irish Media. And the Emmy goes to Cub Together, Cubs Productions.
This year, without you, our story wasn't complete. We can't replace what's been lost, but we can share in what's to come. We will come together, have a hot dog and a beer, laugh and celebrate, soak up that summer sun, breathe in the Wrigley air, and take in the game we love. We'll welcome back all of Wrigley's treasures, starting with you.
All right, it's time to head to Indiana, South Bend to be exact. We are now joined by WNDU's Ibrahim Samra.
Greetings from South Bend, Indiana, home of the historic Morris Performing Arts Center. For nearly 100 years, this place has hosted famous artists like Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, and Stevie Wonder, and home to acts like Broadway's own Wicked and The Lion King. I am honored to present the nominations for Outstanding Achievement for News Specialty Report or Series, Category 8M, Societal Concerns for News Report or Series. The nominees are
Power to Change, WBAY. Dion's Chicago Dream, WGN. Why Shoot? Violence in Michiana, WNDU. Standing Up Against Asian American Hate, WISC. Hablando Claro, WSNS. Remembering the Palm Tavern, WGN. BCBS, Unfair Denial or Discrimination, WMAQ. Do You Hear Me? A Discussion About Race, WLS. There are 3 Emmys being awarded in this category. Power to Change, WBAY. Why Shoot? Violence in Michiana, WNDU. Hablando Claro, WSNS.
Over the last 2 months, we've talked with people every Thursday night about racism, social justice, and the power to change. As a news organization, we feel it's our duty to advance a conversation about race in our community, and that will continue. Tonight, we are bringing you moments of wisdom from each of our interviews about some important topics: racial reconciliation, implicit bias, and equity. Here are some final thoughts from community members about the power to change.
We're taking a deep dive on the topic of gun violence in Michiana. Shootings in our area, South Bend in particular, happen way too often. In fact, right now, police, they're investigating over a dozen criminally assaulted shootings in April alone, about a handful of them fatal. So tonight we're digging deeper into the question, why shoot?
A pesar de que en México casi 1,5 millones se identifican como negros o afromexicanos, por siglos fueron olvidados e invisibles por la sociedad. Y es que hasta hace poco el gobierno reconoció de forma oficial su población y también sus contribuciones. Es por eso que hoy hablamos claro de los afromexicanos, la tercera raíz cultural del país azteca.
Up next, Category 8L, Military News Report or Series. The nominees are
UWMIA Project, WMTV, A Marine's Last Wish, WGN, and the Emmy goes to A Marine's Last Wish, WGN.
He is a hero to his family.
I'm a little choked up here because this is one incredible man.
A hero to his friends. And certainly a hero to his country. With one final dance.
I know the day is coming and this is going to be horrible. It's going to be one of the biggest disappointments in my life to have to lose a man like Jim McNerney.
Here's Category 8K, Weather News Report or Series. The nominees are
Preparing for Severe Storms in the Time of COVID, WITI, Ice on the Lake, WLS, Weatherwise, WREX. The Emmy goes to Ice on the Lake, WLS.
It's one of the most beautiful shorelines in the world, a haven of fun in the summer and a place to cool off from the heat. But when the deepest cold of winter comes, the lake transforms into a majestic frozen world.
I'm meteorologist Larry Mowry. Lake Michigan covers 22,000 square miles and is 300 miles long from north to south. Every winter, ice forms on the lake. That ice creates unique ice formations. This is a look at ice on the lake.
Our next award, Category 8J, Sports News Report or Series. The nominees are
Bobby Roundtree Fights to Walk Again, WGN, The Big G, WISN, Miller Park, The End of an Era, WDJT, and the Emmy goes to The Big G, WISN.
Ever since Brett Favre took a snap in Green Bay, the Big G has been along for the ride.
Well, it's been to every home game for 25 years. He only missed one home game, and I drove it so we could keep the streak going. He calls it his $100,000 RV. It was a labor of love.
Hundreds of games, countless road trips.
It's been in the Super Bowl in New Orleans and San Diego and Dallas.
And Category 8I, Religion News Report or Series. The nominees are
Restoring the Torah and the Faith, WGN, Losing Faith, WISN, and the Emmy goes to Restoring the Torah and the Faith, WGN.
He is a sofer, the Hebrew word for scribe.
My job is to ensure that every letter is there. There are no broken letters, no missing letters, no fading letters, and it takes a lot of energy.
The 57-year-old rabbi from Miami, by way of Israel, is one of only 200 people in the world trained to write the sacred Jewish Torah by hand, and one of only 20 or so who can repair and restore a damaged scroll, making his job one of the rarest in the world.
And my final category tonight is Category 8H, Politics, Government, News Report or Series. The nominees are
Police Chief Chaos, WISN. Is Scabby the Rat about to be exterminated? WGN. From nepotism to absenteeism, Alderman's son suspended, WBBM. And the Emmy goes to Is Scabby the Rat about to be exterminated? WGN.
Employers, at the end of the day, just hated the idea of that in front of their, more than a picket where they were driving workers out. Having the rat in front of their business just drove them crazy.
And because of the rat's unique ability to burrow under the skin of corporate interests, it's also in danger of extermination by the Trump administration.
To go after Scabby is really just, again, corporate America trying to grind workers down one more time.
A case involving Local 150 will determine if the protest prop is protected speech or is a violation of the National Labor Relations Act.
We are bouncing around the Midwest. I hope you guys have your iPass. It's time to go to Wisconsin with WDJT's Pauline Lee.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pauline Lee, coming to you from outside Pfizer Forum, where earlier this year the Milwaukee Bucks made history, winning their first NBA title in 50 years. On behalf of everyone at CBS 58, we are so excited and so honored to be a part of this year's Emmy Awards, and we want to congratulate all of this year's nominees. My mission tonight is to finish presentations for Outstanding Achievement in News Specialty Report or Series. In the category of 8G, Human Interest News Story or Series, the nominees are
You Know You're From, Wisconsin Rapids, Cleaning Caleb, WSAW. One Tip at a Time, WITI. Celebrating Timuel Black, WGN. Making a Difference, WMTV. In this contest, everyone's a winner, WGN. Juanito, Un Ángel en Silencio, WYTU. Mystery Shipwreck, WLS. And the Emmy goes to One Tip at a Time, WITI.
There's Rakina Walker at Manhattan Mocha.
Zach, you made my day. Probably my week, maybe my month.
And on and on.
I wish you could see my face.
The reaction's a blend of shock and gratitude, usually followed by a handshake or a hug. The rules of social distancing no match for the moment.
And they're like, this is a joke. And I'm like, no, this is just kindness and showing people that there still is a light.
As the kindness continued to snowball this summer, hundreds of people donated more than $5,500, which Zach has brought to now 20 different spots around Milwaukee.
Up next is the category of 8F, Health or Science News Report or Series. The nominees are
This Fairy Tale Went Another Way, WGN. You Can Track Your Uber, Not Your Organ, WBBM. Inside the COVID ICU, WGN. The Pregnancy Experiment, WITI. The Emmy goes to The Pregnancy Experiment, WITI.
Are we going to find out if it's a boy or a girl?
How will I know when I'm in labor?
Want an
will
epidural?
the baby sleep in a bassinet
to watch
or
my
a
child
crib?
when I go back to
Will I
work?
breastfeed or do formula? Caring for a newborn while still caring What for my is the other best children? car seat?
Questions, research, hundreds of decisions. The joys of parenthood start before your baby's even born. But expecting the unexpected takes on a whole new meaning in a pandemic.
And in the category of 8E, Environmental News Report or Series, the nominees are
So Great, So Fragile, WLS. ABC 57 Earth Week, WBND. Chicago's Climate Change, WMAQ. Where Life Lessons Grow, WITI. And the Emmy goes to Chicago's Climate Change, WMAQ.
Erosion can be seen along Chicago's changing shoreline, from South Shore to Juneway Terrace. Homes have been flooded and beaches have seemingly disappeared.
In my opinion, the biggest change to Chicago's climate has been the increase in big rain events.
Storm Team 5 meteorologist Paul Diano says Lake Michigan water levels hit their peak in the summer of 2020 when they were 4 feet above average. It's normal for lake levels to rise and fall from year to year, but more intense storms and more rain in a short amount of time is concerning to many experts.
Next up is category 8D, Education School News Report or Series. The nominees are
Class During COVID, WMTV. COVID Vocabulary, WMTV. A year-long project at West Middleton Elementary, WMTV. The Lost Year for Extracurriculars, WNDU. A Weight Off Your Shoulders, Coach Cam Saves a School, WGN. And the Emmy goes to A Year-Long Project at West Middleton Elementary, WMTV.
It's the typical first day excitement, along with the new normal, masks, social distancing, and lots of hand sanitizer.
You got it. And the kids are doing just a fabulous job at following the rules. Like, they know what the expectations are, and they really don't have, any trouble really following them.
We now turn to category 8C, Crime News Report or Series. The nominees are
Inside a Mystery, Milwaukee's Cold Cases, WITI. Grief's Long Shadow, A Murder, a Mother, and a Mental Health Crisis, WGN. Unsolved Murders, WREX. Children Caught in the Crossfire, WGN. Huelas, Gage Park, WSNS. There are 2 Emmys being awarded in this category. Children Caught in the Crossfire, WGN. Huelas, Gage Park, WSNS.
For those who've survived their encounter with a bullet,
Go for it.
their young lives are forever changed.
We're going to do some standing and reaching to work on his balance and some of that core strengthening. You got it, Mikai.
I wrote this in speech therapy, reminiscing about the past when I was young, because that's when everything was fun. I was focused on school and not focused on guns. I changed for the better. This is not a rap, this is a love letter.
Y murieron ultimados 6 miembros de la familia Martínez, incluidos 2 menores de 13 y 10 años de edad.
In my 28 years, I haven't seen a case that has hit as close to home for myself.
El pequeño de 10 años fue apuñalado en el abdomen y su espalda 9 veces.
Fue un crimen aterrador bautizado como la masacre de Gage Park.
Here's Category 8B, Business Consumer News Report or Series. The nominees are
Billions Lost to Fraudulent Unemployment Claims, WGN. Restoring Black Farmland, WGN. Relief for Restaurants, WISC. Building a Better Chicago, COVID-19, 1 year later, WLS. Chicago's Hidden Treasure, WGN. And the Emmy goes to Restoring Black Farmland, WGN.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture says nationwide only about 45,000 farmers are black.
That was intentional.
New crops build our soil. New crops add income from livestock and from seed that will spread.
The USDA's role in the decline is well documented. The agency settled 2 class action discrimination lawsuits after loans for black farmers were routinely delayed and denied, their complaints ignored.
You couldn't get credit. That was a discriminatory practice.
And closing out the news features category tonight is Category 8A, Arts and Entertainment News Report or Series. The nominees are
MLK in Color, WLS. Deborah Nadulman, The Woman Who Dressed Indiana Jones, WFLD. Great Power, Great Responsibility. A Conversation with Alex Ross, WFLD. Social Media Sensation, WITI. Curbside Concerts. Jazz Band Brings Magic of Music to Old Town, WGN. Sunrise Photographer, WDJT. The Emmy goes to MLK in Color, WLS.
When I look back on the photos, I just wish that Dr. King was still with us. His message was one of hope, courage, compassion, mercy, and we don't see enough of that today. It's been 55 years since I first photographed Dr. King, and a day doesn't go by that I don't think about his mission.
All right, put your trench coats on, get your magnifying glasses, calling all gumshoes. It's time for the news and investigative category. I hope to see Dave Savini. Last time I saw him, he was in a bathroom chipping away at hand dryers. Remember that one? All right, our next presenter is from WTVO in Rockford. Please welcome Candace King.
Good evening, wishing you clear skies and wonderful weather for the upcoming holiday season. I'm coming to you from the Nicholas Conservatory along the Rock River in Rockford, Illinois, where you can escape the Midwest cold and enjoy some tropical warmth, have a butterfly land on your nose, or enjoy the holiday lights all aglow. Tonight, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the nominees for Outstanding Achievement for News and Investigative categories. For Category 7, News Specials, the nominees are
Finding a Way Forward, WITI. Broke, Unemployed and Unprotected, WLS. Bright Blues, Famed Blues Camp Goes Virtual, WGN. Vaccinated State, WMAQ. Asian in Wisconsin, battling bias in the Badger State, WDJT. And the Emmy goes to Vaccinated State, WMAQ.
A lot of our focus right now has been with the moving of the vaccines.
From Brussels to the arms of healthcare workers getting their first shot.
It's really nice to have that light. It's emotional.
We follow the long journey from production to plane and into the arms of some of the very first Illinoisans to get the COVID-19 vaccine. That's next on Vaccinated State.
Up next, Category 6, Hard News Report. The nominees are
The Racial Reckoning, a candid conversation between childhood friends at the George Floyd Memorial, WGN. COVID-19 and Crime, Justice for Emma, WBND. Eviction Moratorium Leaving Landlords Homeless, WBBM. Eric Lurie's Story, WBBM. And the Emmy goes to Eviction Moratorium Leaving Landlords Homeless, WBBM.
There is a federal moratorium on most evictions until the end of the year. It's on top of J.B. Pritzker's state order, an order which put the brakes on more than 1,800 evictions in Cook County. So why is this one taking place? The answer, not something he wanted to hear.
Yeah, but there's some other circumstances when you can be evicted.
Here's Category 5, Daily News Report, Single Shift. The nominees are
Taps at Sunset, WLS. Health Department shuts down election rally, WITI. Adam Toledo video release, WGBO. Recusal refusal, WITI. Historic Oregon wildfires, heartbreak and hope captured on camera, WGN. There are 2 Emmys being awarded in this category. Adam Toledo video release, WGBO. Recusal refusal, WITI.
Protestas esta noche en Chicago, luego que la Agencia Civil de Responsabilidad Policíaca revelara los videos de los últimos minutos de vida de Adam Toledo antes de morir de un disparo a manos de un agente de policía.
Nosotros vamos a hacer todo lo posible para obtener justicia.
Una familia que pide justicia para el joven de 13 años.
In a world of instant everything, there's nothing faster than feedback, especially when it comes to a controversial hire. Wauwatosa officer Joseph Mensah shot and killed 3 people on the job in 5 years. The district attorney cleared him of criminal charges, but Mensah agreed to separate from the city of Wauwatosa. 2 months later, he became a Waukesha County Sheriff's deputy.
For Category 4B, Investigative Series. The nominees are
Learning Loss, WITI. Unemployment System Collapse, WTMJ. Broken Bureaucracy, The Littlest Victims, WBBM. My Name is Anjanette Young, WBBM. Safety of Electronic Monitoring Questioned, WGN. The Emmy goes to My Name is Anjanette Young, WBBM.
We counted. She says it at least 43 times. And she was right. They were in the wrong house. Our investigation uncovered police failed to do the most basic research before getting the search warrant approved. We found they simply took the word of an informant who gave them Anjanette Young's address. The informant claimed a 23-year-old man who was a known felon had a gun and ammo inside.
And finally tonight, Category 4A, Investigative Single Story. The nominees are
Unlicensed to Kill, WITI. Left in the Dark, WBBM. Unemployment Fraud. A scammer spills his secrets, WBBM. What is a Displays officer doing in the city of Chicago, WGN. Getting Hosed. I Just Called Gil, WBBM. Belvedere police receive more accusations of excessive force, WREX. Illegal parking lot, WSNS. And the Emmy goes to Getting Hosed. I Just Called Gil, WBBM.
Getting hosed.
For 2 full years.
What's wrong with this picture?
CBS 2 investigators,
And that's not all.
have systematically exposed a system systemically failing.
Really getting hosed.
In his home, he can't.
Shame
on you.
Chicago's getting hosed. Every bill we investigate is wrong, yet no interest, no inquiry from City Hall. We now know why. In a mountain of internal city emails obtained by a public records request, it came down to 4 words. I just called Gil.
All right, our final category. Can you believe it? Our presenter I met last year, right here in the Emmys, virtual setting. We did a happy hour over Zoom. I wonder if she remembers it, because like many of you, a lot of the Zoom calls, we just push down into our subconscious and hopefully never recall those moments again. But I love her. She's from WTTW. I don't know if you watch Chicago Tonight. I am a habitual viewer. Love Chicago Tonight. So I'm very excited to welcome Brandis Friedman.
Well, you've made it this far. Congratulations. I'm Brandis Friedman, co-anchor of Chicago Tonight and host of Chicago Tonight Black Voices on WTTW. And I'm proud to be standing outside the DuSable Museum of African American History to present our final 5 categories of the night. Outstanding achievement for news gathering and newscasts. For category number 3, continuing coverage, the nominees are
Blindfolded and Abused, WBBM. Illinois' Unemployment Crisis, WBBM. Just 10 years old, WBBM. Unemployed and Overwhelmed, WITI. Jacob Blake Police Shooting, WISN. The Emmy goes to Just 10 Years Old, WBBM.
Chicago police say they're looking into why the detective on the case failed to make an arrest even after a DNA match with her rape kit test. Within the last week, Mayor Lori Lightfoot called this all a systemic failure. Activists say they want more than words.
Protect that red girl.
They're here for the little girl who for years suffered abuse in silence, failed by the systems designed to protect her.
This was a mausoleum of horror.
Here's category 2B for smaller market morning newscast. The nominees are
ABC 57 Morning News, Election Day 2020, WBND. News 3 Now this morning, November 4th, 2020, WISC. The Emmy goes to ABC 57 Morning News, Election Day 2020, WBND.
It's finally here, Election Day 2020.
We're tired of the tweets, the anger, the hate, the failure.
They're coming for your guns, they're coming for your jobs, and they're coming for your freedom.
From the biggest race dominating the headlines.
We are going to win 4 more years in that very beautiful place called the White House.
It's time for Donald Trump to pack his bags and go home.
To elections with a major impact in Washington and right here at home.
Up next, category 2A, larger market morning newscast. The nominees are
Looting, Vandalism, and Violence, WBBM. TMJ4 News Today, Post-Election Day, WTMJ. Jacob Blake Police Shooting, WISN. Unrest in Chicago, Overnight Looting, WMAQ. Chicago Unrest, August 10th, 2020, WLS. And the Emmy goes to Unrest in Chicago, Overnight Looting, WMAQ.
It's still not contained. It is still widespread and going on as we speak. We moved inside after witnessing looting and hearing gunshots very close to our location on Michigan Avenue. Police still trying to control a mob scene in several locations scattered throughout downtown with looters, people vandalizing and attacking police.
Chase the caravan out from Oakland, Michigan, lasting southbound Michigan. For approximately 14 vehicles, anywhere to white vehicles, Jeeps, utilities, and one van lasting southbound Michigan from Oak.
That's the scanner report of a caravan pulling downtown at Oakland, Michigan, about 12:20 this morning.
Turning to category 1B, smaller market evening newscast. The nominees are
ABC 57 News, 11 p.m. Election Day 2020, WBND. Protests in downtown Madison, 27 News at 5, WKOW. And the Emmy goes to Protests in downtown Madison, 27 News at 5, WKOW.
People in Madison and across the country continue to speak out against police brutality and racism following the death of George Floyd.
And finally, Category 1A Larger Market Evening Newscast. The nominees are
Chicago Safety Emergency, WMAQ. 10 p.m. Newscast, April 15, 2021, WLS. Adam Toledo Police Shooting Video, WMAQ. Tornado Chicago Riots, WGBO. CBS 2 News at 6. My name is Anjanette Young, WBBM. Noticiero Telemundo Chicago, 10 p.m. January 6, 2021, WSNS. There are 2 Emmys being awarded in this category. Noticiero Telemundo Chicago, 10 p.m. January 6, 2021, WSNS. 10 p.m. Newscast, April 15, 2021, WLS.
Estas fueron las caóticas escenas que se vivieron esta tarde en la capital del país tras la toma del Capitolio por parte de seguidores del presidente Donald Trump.
Después de estos violentos enfrentamientos a esta hora, los senadores y congresistas ya han regresado a esa sesión legislativa.
Breaking now on Eyewitness News. Protesters calling for justice for Adam Toledo.
All the police video made public today, the I-Team with what it shows.
The Toledo family attorney reacting.
At the time Adam was shot, he did not have a gun.
Mayor Lightfoot emotional, calling for calm.
We all must proceed with deep empathy and calm, and importantly, peace.
All right, can you believe it? We're done. It's over. Listen, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank my green screen. Where would I have been tonight without the green screen? Thanks, T-Skills. I also want to congratulate all the winners and say goodnight to all of our lovely markets out there. I hope I'm with you next year, in person. Good night.